Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's funny because the first scoliosis video I ever recorded on my channel, I had a really bad cold and I sounded just like this. And now here I am again filming another scoliosis video and I'm sick. But I really wanted to make this video. Like I said on my Instagram, I get more questions regarding my back and my scoliosis than probably anything else. And I've created several different videos on my channel regarding my scoliosis, but even with those videos out, I still get so many just direct messages, comments, and emails from those of you who have scoliosis or know someone that does. And Ollie, he doesn't like to leave my side, so we'll have a little video helper here. So like I was saying, I really wanted to make this video to hopefully be able to clear up a lot of the questions that I get so often, and unfortunately you guys did ask me so many questions, which I'm so grateful for, but I'm not able to answer all of them, so I just chose a lot of the most frequently asked questions. And if you have an important question that I didn't answer in this video, feel free to comment below and I will be sure to answer that question later. So just hopping right into it, the first question is, what is the degree of your curve? And I'm not 100% sure on that answer right now, simply because I did do the scoliosis boot camp about a year ago. And if you don't know anything about that, I discussed that in my two other previous scoliosis videos here on my channel. But before I started the scoliosis boot camp, my curve was at about 92 degrees, and I have a C curve. I know some people have S curves, so they have multiple different curves. I just have one big C curve, and like I said, it started at 92 degrees. After my boot camp, in about a 2-week span, it went from 92 degrees to 78 degrees, which was awesome. And then my doctor sent me home with specific exercises prescribed for me and my back and my curve to continue to do at home to hopefully continue improving and correcting my spine gradually more and more through doing those exercises at home. So I haven't had another checkup since about 6 months after my first checkup appointment from my boot camp. So it's probably still somewhere in the 70s if I had to guess. Next question is, have you ever had chiropractic work done? And I've actually been seeing a chiropractor ever since I was diagnosed with scoliosis, which was when I was 9. And I've been seeing the same one for quite a few years now. I will get adjustments when I feel that I need to. And the boot camp that I attended was also held by a chiropractor who just specializes in scoliosis. So I have seen multiple chiropractors throughout the years and have really loved the ones that I have seen. And especially the one, obviously, that held the boot camp really helped me a lot because he actually corrected my spine. And then the chiropractor that I see currently, that I've been seeing for years, she's amazing too. She doesn't actually just help me with my scoliosis, but just any health issues that I have in general. She's the one that I go to for those things. So yeah. Do you work out your weak side more or equally? So at the gym, I actually do a lot of single arm and single leg isolation exercises. So if I'm doing something like bicep curls or I'm doing something like a leg press, I will do a lot of single arm and single leg isolation movements. And the reason for that is when you have scoliosis, you have major muscle imbalances. You know, my whole body is totally imbalanced. You know, one of my arms is longer, one of my legs is longer. And that also leads to muscle imbalance because one of your legs and arms is going to take over when you do movements with both arms or both legs. Your stronger or longer leg or arm are going to take over, thus becoming stronger than the other leg or arm. So I do, of course, I do compound movements like deadlifts and hip thrusts, which are doing, you know, both legs at the same time. You know, I do pull-ups, which is, you know, your whole back, both arms at the same time, all of that. But I also do incorporate a lot of single arm and leg movements to kind of help with that muscle imbalance. It's never going to go away. That's just the way it is. That's just the way my body is. But I can help by doing these single arm and leg isolation movements. So even if you don't have scoliosis and you find that you do have muscle imbalance, I would highly recommend doing that just because most of us in general do have a stronger leg and arm anyways. So doing a lot of single limb movements is going to help with that. Next question is, what do you know about the Scruff method for helping scoliosis? And I've looked into it a little bit. I actually don't know very much about it. I'm always really open to finding new alternative ways to correct scoliosis and help with, stiffness and pain and all of that. However, I haven't tried it myself. I would eventually like to try it myself, but I don't know enough to give an opinion yet. I have seen some really good testimonials. If any of you have had it done or know someone that has and has had a good or a bad experience from it, I would love to hear about it or know about it. I am in Michigan currently, moving to Arizona in a couple weeks. So if you know anybody in either one of those areas, please let me know. That would be awesome. The next famous question that I sometimes don't like answering, and that is, have you ever had surgery or would you ever have corrective surgery? And I have never had the surgery, and this is kind of a touchy subject or question just because I know that certain people can have a very strong opinion on this, and some people feel very strongly that you should or you have to get the surgery if you have scoliosis, and then some people feel very strongly that you shouldn't. And my personal decision has been to not get the surgery. Would I ever get it? I don't know. It depends on the advances in medicine, I guess, and with the surgery. But for what it is right now, I don't see myself getting it. There's just a lot of risk involved. There's a lot of recovery involved, and I just would rather not have the metal rods in my back. I know that a lot of people have had a really good experience with surgery, and if you're one of those people, that's amazing. I know some people have said it actually has helped with pain. But I've also heard a lot of people say that after getting the surgery, it has made their pain worsen or made them very stiff, not very flexible, and I just don't want to risk what I do every day as my career, which is obviously weightlifting and fitness, and I don't want to put a hindrance on that, especially considering the fact that I already do only have a minimal amount of pain as it is, and I feel that although my back doesn't look the best, it is improving from what I am doing. And I know that what I'm doing is safe, and I would rather have it maybe look a little bit off and continue to do what I love than risk getting the surgery and, being in more pain or not being able to do what I love every day. So my personal decision is, obviously not to get the surgery, but I don't want anyone to be offended if you have had it or if you're going to get it. I hope that you have a good experience with it, but again, this is a very personal decision, and I don't think there's a right or wrong. It's just that I didn't want to personally go through with the surgery. One other thing that I actually wanted to touch on as far as the surgery goes, I have seen so many comments on my personal page saying that if you don't get the surgery, you're putting yourself in danger. I have had medical doctors years ago tell me that my spine could curve into my heart and that I would die if I didn't have it. And those things are simply not true. No one has ever died from scoliosis. That's just not a thing. And especially when you are taking care of yourself and you are doing some sort of alternative method to, just help and correct your spine, you're not putting yourself in danger. At the end of the day, as long as you're doing something to improve it, you don't have to get the surgery. You're not going to die or put yourself in serious danger or anything like that. And again, I don't want to start a controversy, but that's just the truth of the matter. You should do something to help yourself. I'm not saying to just sit back and do nothing if you don't have scoliosis, and don't be active and don't get the surgery and just ignore it. But at the same time, if someone tells you something crazy about if you don't get the surgery, it's not true. So just kind of want to clear that up. Next question is, does exercise help scoliosis? And if you have seen any of my previous videos on my channel where I talk about my scoliosis, that is actually one of the biggest things that has helped me with pain and stiffness and even the appearance. I can't even stress the importance of exercise enough, specifically strengthening your core, because when your core is strong, it helps to support your spine and support your back, thus, helping with back pain, especially back pain in your lower back. So I am a huge advocate for exercising if you have scoliosis. Now, obviously, depending on your curve and on your case, you should always check with your doctor to see what is safe for you. I obviously do lift weights. I lift heavy, but I also have always taken it very slow throughout the years, very gradually added more weight, been very careful about my form and really picky with my form. So you always want to be careful, listen to your body, and if something is bothering your back, obviously don't continue to do it. But yes, overall, I think exercise is probably the best thing that somebody with scoliosis can do for themselves. Next question is, does heavy lifting hurt your back? And the answer to that is no. If it did, I wouldn't do it. So thank God I am able to do it because it is something that I obviously love. It is my passion. It's my career now, and I am so glad that I am still able to do what I love and lift heavy weights without really putting a hindrance or hurting my back. So no, it doesn't really bother me. But like I said, I'm also very careful about my form, and yeah. Do you wear a brace, or have you ever worn a brace? I do not wear a brace. I didn't wear one when I was younger either. My parents were just kind of, they didn't feel that there was enough evidence that it would help, and they would have had to take me out of the sports that I was doing. I would have had to wear the brace 23 out of 24 hours a day, and they didn't want to put me through that without hard evidence that it was going to help. So when I was younger, I didn't have the brace. And actually, when I went through my scoliosis boot camp, they had told me, we're going to make a brace for you. You're just going to wear it at night. It may or may not work because your case is so severe and your curve is so prominent. So I did try the brace. Unfortunately, it just didn't work. It was something I could never get used to. I tried for months. It hurt every night to wear it, which it wasn't supposed to be like that. It was supposed to gradually get easier. It never did. So unfortunately, the brace didn't end up working out. I know there's a lot of different kind of braces out there that I don't know too much about. But again, if you are going to get something like that, you know, I would recommend not going off of just one opinion, but really looking into it for yourself, because it is obviously a commitment, and you want to make sure that it is worthwhile, you know, worth the money and worth the discomfort, and really want to make sure that it's going to benefit you if you're going to do it. So, so yeah, that's that. And then how do you manage the pain? So I fortunately actually don't deal with that much pain. However, I credit that a lot to the fact that I stay very active, that I have a very strong core and just strong muscles in general. And that was another thing that my doctor that I went to the boot camp for had said, that doing all this weightlifting and staying so strong is probably the biggest reason that I have a lot less pain than people who even have scoliosis way less severe than I do. You know, I have people reach out to me that have scoliosis in the 20 degrees, 30 degrees, telling me they have all this pain, and mine at its worst, like I said, was in the 90s, and I didn't suffer. I wouldn't even use the word suffer at all. I didn't suffer. You know, every now and again I will have stiffness and back pain if I'm sitting in a certain kind of chair or whatever. My back will start to get sore, driving, stuff like that. But overall, I don't suffer from my scoliosis. I don't have that bad of back pain. But I would recommend going back and watching my previous video on my top 5 tips for helping your scoliosis. I made that, I forget when I made that, maybe like a month ago, 2 months ago, but it's really good, and it gives you guys like my top 5 tips for helping to manage your scoliosis and things that you can do to help manage the pain and stiffness and stuff like that. So go check that out if you haven't. Another question that I got a lot when I asked you guys to ask me questions for this Q&A was, what exercises are you doing to correct your spine or your scoliosis? And as I have said in my videos and in a lot of my captions talking about my scoliosis, I can't recommend you guys do the same exercises that my doctor prescribed for me, because they are specifically designed for me and my curve. So the only tips that I can give you guys are the ones in this video and the ones in my previous scoliosis video, the top 5 tips one that I was just talking about. So if you have questions about exercises or things or stretches or anything like that that can help, go check out that video, because those are really the only tips I can give you guys. The exercises I'm doing at my house are designed for me. So unfortunately, I can't really share those with you guys because, first of all, I don't know that they would help, and second of all, I don't want to make anything worse than it already is. So that's kind of the answer to that. All right, last question that I'm going to answer is, has your back been a hindrance at the gym? Which I guess I kind of answered that throughout this video. And the answer to that is really no. If there is ever an exercise or something that bothers my back, I just don't do it. The only thing I really avoid is squatting. And the main reason for that isn't necessarily because it hurts my back. It's more because when I'm at home and I'm doing things to lengthen my spine, and I'm doing my stretches and my exercises to help correct my spine, I feel that putting you know, a lot of weight on my back and squatting with a bar and heavy weight is kind of contradicting what I'm trying to do here, which is lengthen my spine, because obviously when you're squatting, you are compressing your spine and a lot of weight's going on the spine. And again, if your core is tight and you're doing it with good form, I'm not saying it's dangerous. I'm not telling you not to do it if you have scoliosis. You know, everybody is different. That's just a personal choice that I have made. I do squat, but I don't squat heavy, and I don't do it very often. For my compound movements, I stick more to deadlifts and hip thrusts and stuff like that, things that just don't directly put a lot of weight on my spine. Like I said, I appreciate the fact that you guys gave me so many good questions to answer, and if you had one that I didn't answer in this video, again, please feel free to put it below. I want to make sure that I answer you guys' questions. This subject is very important to me, and I want to make sure that any of you guys who have scoliosis and you feel that it is a hindrance in your life or it does get you down from time to time, I do hope to be that inspiration for you to show you that it doesn't have to get in the way of your day-to-day life, and we all deal with things that we could use as excuses or feel sorry for ourselves for, but like I said, we all have things that we deal with. This is just ours. So please feel free to comment below. Let me know what you thought about this video. Comment with your questions. I will get back to you. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Do not forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to help support my channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.